Hey, welcome to 2024. Happy New Year. Goodbye with the old and with the new, blah, blah, blah. So, figure I'd just start off with a little New Year's greeting. Happy new opportunities or whatever. However you decide to go about it with the January. Coming back to back up on the calendar again. I think I'm just speaking gibberish right now, but maybe it'll make sense. Anyway, I haven't done anything in a while now, and oh my god, you're here. It's like every time I try to do anything, that's when you decide to show up. Never mind, I'm just talking to the cat. Anytime I'm not doing anything, she ignores the hell out of me and doesn't even acknowledge my existence. But as soon as I try to do anything, there she is. Doesn't matter if I'm trying to play a game, if I'm trying to read a book, read a thing on my phone, do a vlog, whatever. As soon as I try to go do something, there she is. But I could just sit there for hours on end doing nothing, and she wouldn't even look at me. You know, typical cat, I guess. Anyway, yeah, with it being the changing of the years from 23 to 24, I guess it's kind of a good time to just look back at the previous year, see if any highlights jump to mind, and just think back on them for a little bit before I sign off. But yeah, before I get into that though, yeah, Christmas this past week came and went. It wasn't anything real spectacular. It was really low key, just a couple hours at the rehabilitation center that my mom's currently staying at for the time being. After she fell and broke her arm, so that really complicated the holiday plans. But anyway, we still got together for a couple hours on Christmas Day. Did a brief gift exchange. Had a few munchies. You're looking for any excuse to make noise over there, huh? Yeah. She's scratching her cat tree right now. Trying to make as much noise as possible. Because that's how she is. Yeah, it didn't really get much of, not much notes from Christmas this year, but that's okay. Might not be on gift exchanges anymore anyway. Not since not since I was a kid anyway. But I did wind up getting two things that were actually really kind of cool, I thought. But that's just because I like the novelty lighting stuff, and they were both from my brother and in his household. One was well, they're both these neon lights. One was in the shape of the one-up mushroom from Super Mario Brothers, and the other one was shaped like the King Boo. So I don't know where he found them at, but they were by far the best things I got this year. Yeah. And the day after Christmas, I mentioned in the last video, I got the I had the issue with the heat. The heater blew up on me. So I was able to track down a guy, thanks to my shift supervisor at work. She gave me a number of a guy. I called him up, actually, it was Christmas Eve when she passed along the information. Gave him a call, and we arranged for him to come by on the day after Christmas. And it took about 2 hours, but he actually wound up replacing that heater because the issue was with the hardware itself. He saw it spark and realized what was going on. He said he had to just replace the whole thing outright. So he went off to the hardware store. Of course, they didn't have the size that we needed, so I had to go down one size. Yeah, I had a couple of 36-inch heaters on one either side of the door, and Menards only had the 30-inch or 40 some odd inch. I think it was like a 48-inch was the next size. They didn't have any 36 inches in stock, and they would have had to special order it with an estimated delivery date of January 17th. So I'm not sitting around here without functional heat in the central part of the living room for 3.5 weeks. That's not going to happen. So I gave him the go ahead to just pick up the smaller one, and yep, he got installed. It's been pumping out heat ever since then. So yay for happy ending there. Let's see. Oh yeah. Christmas Eve. I went to the mailbox that morning, picked up the mail from the day before, and I found I had 2 letters from my previous employer, both addressed to my dead name, unfortunately. Opened the one up, and yeah, come to find out that in September they were hacked. They discovered the hack in October, and they notified me about it in December. So yeah, way to stay on top of that shit. Now where it gets even better is this is a fucking tech company that makes circuit boards and have multiple contracts with the Department of Defense. So we're talking, Army, Air Force, that kind of shit. And yet they allowed themselves to get hacked and didn't even realize it for like 2 weeks after. So, with the whole thing where they're subject to ITAR, which is a lot of restrictions on who can and cannot see the products and the designs and all the information related to these circuit boards that they make. And you allow such a massive breach of your network to go unchecked for that long. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that company in the new year, because that's kind of shit that you wouldn't think would happen with a technology company, especially one dealing with military grade shit. But that's what you get. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised though. They're running their machines were running off of computers with fucking Windows 95 and 98 installed, and this was back in 2020. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but I'm still really irritated by the whole thing. So what they tell me in the letter is that my personal information may have been accessed, which could include anything, social security number, address, name, date of birth, phone number, COVID test results, which I never had COVID tests, so that's moot. But you get the picture. So now they're going to be offering this free credit monitoring for a year to say our bad, we're sorry. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I signed up for it, but it's just it's such bullshit, you know. I've been dealing with enough issues really to my credit report lately as it is. Then to have that worry pop up on top of everything else. Yeah, I'm peachy right now. So that's what's current around here. But as far as the year in review, um, yeah, let's go back. I don't think January, February really had anything for me. Um, it wasn't until March, I think, was when things really started to take shape for me. Because that was when I finally got around to getting the paperwork, going to the courthouse, and filing my petition for my name change. I mean, I think it was like March 8th or something like that. But yeah, that's where it all started was back in March. It's hard to believe it was that long ago already. Yeah. I mean, the rest of that time was just me waiting, just biding my time. I guess I also did back in March. I think I also got the scheduling done for my surgical consults. But of course, there's a waiting period after that too, where I had to wait for the appointment, which happened in June. God, yeah, that name change thing was absolute bullshit, you know. Because you gotta go and you gotta file with all the correct paperwork, blah blah blah, which that's to be expected. But then you have to go to a local newspaper and have them publish your intent to change your name, and they have to do that for 3 consecutive weeks. And this is information that includes your existing name, your desired name, your home address. I mean that right there, that's the huge part for me, because you're potentially putting yourself at a lot of risk, because the wrong people see that shit, and now they know where you live, and they see, okay, well, here's a name that was obviously masculine, now it's an obviously feminine name. They're gonna put two and two together and realize, okay, this person's trans, and that's just an open invitation for them to come harass you, or worse, because well, they hate people like me. So yeah, I'm still irritated by the whole process, because that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't need to disclose the information about your address, and making the whole thing publicly available for viewing. But had to do it because that's the law in this state, because well, they don't give a shit about privacy. Privacy and safety just doesn't matter to them. But yeah, anyway, March comes and goes, April comes and goes. End of April was when I had my court date. Went and saw the judge about that. Got the approval granted. Paperwork filled out. Oh dear God, I'm still dealing with the fallout from that. I haven't got my name change done with any of my utilities yet, so they're still in my dead name, which could make things more fun if I have an issue later on. But and just I'm not really motivated to get that shit changed because it's all auto paid. I mean, outside of the water bill, but everything else just comes out of my bank account. So it's like, okay, well, I don't really gotta think about it. So I was outside out of mind until like 2, 3 in the morning when their offices are closed anyway. But anyway, let's see. April, that ends. May comes around, and the big thing for me with May was the Icon for Hire show, which was, what was that, May 9th, I think it was. And yeah, that for me was just an absolute highlight of the year for me, because I hadn't been to a show in, I think, about 8 years at that point. So I was well overdue. And then to have it be a VIP session on the tour bus too. I mean, and then you find out that the band members are just two of the most chill, easygoing, and friendly people that you're ever going to meet. I think the word authentic just nails it right, right on the nose, because that's exactly how they struck me. So they were pretty. They're just awesome. They were a lot of fun to be around. And then the show afterward was just fucking phenomenal too. So yeah, it was easily the highlight of my May. Yeah, highlight of June would be getting my surgical consults done and getting an approval from the doctors and the the therapist to go ahead with my surgeries. Wasn't until I think I think the surgeon, I think that point was in July at some point. I'm getting dates mixed up here, but God, sorry, I got this itch on my nose that just does not want to go away. It's just right in the tip. It's like, ugh. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, then I didn't really have a lot of major highlights outside of that. August, I got the letter from the insurance company saying that yes, you're approved. You can get your surgeries now. The approval window, unfortunately, was only valid until yesterday. I don't know why they made it so small. I'm hoping that the clinic will what's what I'm looking for here. Will mediate on my behalf again, like they did the first time, and extend that window for the duration of 2024. If not, I'm probably just going to have to go back and get go through the approval process again with the therapist and the surgeon taking a look at me again. But I was going to have to deal with them again anyway, because those approvals only last for a year, and for me, the letters of approval for my therapist, actually all three of the letters were going to expire before I get the bottom surgery anyway. So I gotta get them refreshed and good to go for 2025. But yeah, let's see. On to August, later. Oh yeah. How did I forget about that whole saga? I also had the joy of the deck issue and the HOA weighing on me all summer, because last 2022 they sent a letter saying you need to replace your deck because the boards are in sad shape. Well, okay, fine, that's fine. They say you got till end of May 2023 to do it, but you need to attend the board meeting and submit the request to get permission to do the thing that we just told you that you need to do. But you have to do that in person. So yeah, there's that. You need to, in order to do what they tell you need to do, you have to take the form, fill it out, bring it to the meeting. You cannot bother the HOA board outside of their designated meeting time, which kind of conflicts with my work schedule, so I have to account for that too. So I have to attend their board meeting, submit the request in person, and wait for them to say, yes, you can do the work that we told you need to do. Yeah, that was a bunch of bullshit. So, I got permission to do that, and it was the end of April when I had the handyman do the work there. About 2 weeks later, I get a letter from the board saying, yeah, you need to stain these boards right away. You have until the end of July to do it. And if you know anything about lumber, it does need to cure before you can stain it. But these board members, they didn't give a shit, so I was forced against my will to stain early. Granted, it still looks all right now, but I have to wonder how long it's gonna hold because the lumber was not properly cured before I did it. So anyway, got that done end of July, beginning of August, and I guess I'm in the clear on that for the time being. See, September comes around. Can't really think of anything that happened in September outside of the end of summer bash that my friends and I like to do up north. And yeah, that was a good day. It was kind of short with the rain, but it was still a good time for everyone involved. At least I thought so. Of course, my perspective was a little different than some others, but yeah, it led to I'm not sure if animosity is the right word, but there's been some tension between two of my friends since then because they have very different interpretations of what what playing games, like board games, card games, those kind of games, um, what should constitute playing those games. And you got one who's very very wants to be focused on only the game, and the other one, wants to make it more casual, more let's just play at our own pace, that kind of thing. Like, okay, if we gotta stop and have a good laugh and shoot the shit for a while, hey, where's the harm in that? So there's kind of a rift because following that get together in September, the one friend decided that he wanted to have a game at his place for a full weekend, but he took a step too far and came up with all these rules and basically made it so that it became very militant about it, where basically if you go there, you're there to play these games on this schedule, and we are not deviating from the schedule whatsoever. And the other friend, well, she's a lot more easygoing on that kind of shit. Doesn't want to be locked into a set schedule like that. They went back and forth, and she wound up being not invited, and I'm not sure if they've even spoken since then, but yeah, it's been kind of rough to see it. I also wound up not going to that game day, that that game event because it just didn't work out for me. Let's see, September, October. I don't know. I'm drawing blanks here as far as anything really major, noteworthy. Um, November comes around, and yay, it's my birthday. Blah blah. Blah, 42 years old. Then there was the what they were calling adult prom kind of thing. I think that was overselling it, but a bunch of us got together as a group that I had never met before, save for one friend. But she invited me to go along, and I was like, you know what? It was a chance for me to get dolled up and just have a good time. So I hadn't really had that chance before since coming out, so I decided to go ahead and just take the opportunity and do it. So turned out to be a really good deal for me. Just a great night, a great time with friends, and with my my best friend, and a group that she associates with. Some good live music, bit of dancing. Very sore toes afterwards because that was literally only a few days after I had possibly broken one toe and bruised the shit out of another toe on different feet. So it wasn't working for me, but I still put on my heels and still made the most of it. I paid for it the day after, but that's you gotta make those decisions sometimes, those sacrifices every once in a while. Let's see, that takes us through November. Thanksgiving comes and goes. Thanksgiving was a pretty quiet affair with just a handful of family members, and yeah. In December, well, we've been exceedingly warm for this time of year, though it seems like we're getting down into more seasonal as the forecast drags on. But still, I've been appreciating it. It's been it's been doing a lot of good for my heat bills. So yeah, that takes us through December, and outside of Christmas, I forget if I brought up the issue I was thinking about with regards to Christmas and that whole thing where I didn't know if I was going to go to church or not. I mean, a part of me wanted to, but just the whole thing where they tend to not accept people like me in a lot of churches. Just eventually that won out. That the desire to not have to deal with that. Eventually, we have won out, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing that." So, for yet another year, I've evaded that issue. I know someday I'm gonna have to, bite the bullet and actually uh, jump into one of those services. But uh, I think I think a lot of it is I'm gonna have to wait until I got a better hold on my voice. Because no matter what I do, I always wind up slipping back into that deeper, heavier, more masculine tone, and I know that gives me away. I mean, it irritates the shit out of me that I have thus far been unable to. Uh, um, I can't think of the terminology on this one, but I can't make a more feminine tone my default. I always wind up slipping back into that lower octave, the more masculine tone. And when that gives me away, when I know it's going to give me away, I mean, if I'm amongst friends and amongst people that I know aren't going to give a shit, that's one thing. But if I'm amongst, a bunch of strangers that don't know me and that I'm trying to just blend in with, I mean, that's in the best of cases, I might just get a sideways glance and a tut tut from the peanut gallery and the old church ladies, whatever. But in the worst case scenarios, that I could get outed, completely outed, and you know, have the ultra conservatives of whatever populists I'm currently in amongst deciding that they need to take matters into their own hands and do the things that conservatives like to do to trans people. So I don't know. I get the affirmations at times that people will say that I'm doing fine with my voice, but even if I'm only doing it like 80% of the time, if I'm good, that's still not good enough for me. I need it to be consistent all the time because otherwise I'm opening myself up to some really potentially deadly shit. And that's not hyperbole. That's I mean these especially the MAGA crowd. They're a bloodthirsty bunch when it comes to trans people, and I would not be safe. And sure, it might sound extreme, but it's also very, very reasonable to think that that's a possibility. Anyway, getting back from that tangent, yeah, so Christmas came and went, and here we are, New Year's. I spent New Year's Eve alone, as I usually do. Celebrated by pouring a glass of sparkling grape juice into my silly cup. Yeah, it's this. It's like a plastic champagne glass with a base that you unscrew, with a battery inside, and these 4 LED lights that you push a button and they flash and rotating patterns. It's silly. It looks dumb, but I think it suits the occasion. I think. So I toasted the new year with that, and now here I am. But all in all, my 2023 wasn't bad. I just really wish that I wouldn't have had so much fear involved in it. Because at the end of it all, at the end of the day, I do I do harbor a lot of fear over what's going to happen as this year progresses and into next year, thanks to the politics of the right. And next year, who knows? Maybe we'll have another psychotic piece of shit in the White House, and his party will be dominating in Congress too, and they'll have their reckoning against LGBTQ people. And where is that going to leave me? Running for my life? Hiding? I don't know. I mean, if I had just been normal all along, this wouldn't be a thing, but I wasn't that lucky. But here we are, beginning of a new year. Hopefully, it's all new possibilities. I mean, one can hope, right? I don't really have much in the lines of goals for the year, other than to just keep on keeping on. Maybe gain the confidence that I've been lacking as far as branching out and making new contacts with people. And I guess what was it, back in November? I did sign up for Facebook dating. Just on a lark. Just on a whim kind of thing. And um, I haven't gone back to actually do anything with it. I popped in a few times to see if I've had any likes, and surprisingly, I have had people say that they like my profile, but I've been too chicken shit to reciprocate. But yeah, maybe I'll get lucky this year, and I'll be able to overcome that shyness I've been contending with all this time. And no, it's not just romantic shit I was looking for in that dating shit. I was just looking for any kind of social contacts, just expanding my circle. That whole thing. But yeah, so I don't know how long I've been babbling on for, but I should probably just end this now. Let you get on with your year, and I will talk to you at some point later on. And hey, hope you all have a great year. If you got any questions for me, feel free to ask. If I can't answer it, I will, but if I can't, I'll explain why, and we'll go on from there. Anyway, hope I didn't bore you too much. I know I prattle on a lot, but I'm trying to get better. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.